What's up, everybody? John here, and it's time to talk about Argylle, the latest film from director Matthew Vaughn. And this is going to be a spoiler-free review. And yeah, it's a stacked cast. You have Henry Cavill, you have Dua Lipa, John Cena, you have Bryce Dallas Howard, you have Sam Rockwell, Samuel L. Jackson, Bryan Cranston, you have Catherine O'Hara. A lot of cast. And I think even with that, and then Matthew Vaughn, that has gotten me excited to see, like, where is this gonna go? Because the trailer, like, for the story, I'm like, all right, I'll watch it, I'll check it out, but it didn't get me truly excited. And I think, like, after watching this, my feeling for this movie, I just thought, like, there was just a lot of wasted potential, especially with the cast, and also with just where the direction of the story was headed with this. And so for me, the first half was a lot of fun, a lot of promise, and then I think they just kind of blew it in the second half of the film, and to the point where I just no longer cared about the characters or the story. And so yeah, let's talk about the story. We have Bryce Dallas Howard as Ellie Conway. She is an author, and she writes spy novels. The spy novel star is Argylle, who is played by Henry Cavill, and the other characters, include Dua Lipa, and it also includes John Cena. So John Cena is Argylle's just partner in crime, and you also have Ariana DeBose, who's like the other character that helps out, and then Dua Lipa, she's like that femme fatale. Like, do you trust her? Or do you not? With Ellie Conway writing the story, the spy novels, she starts to find out, like, oh, holy crap, like, some of the stuff, they're like coming to life, because people are after her now, and they want to see how she finishes the story, because if she finishes the story, it's going to help out the secret organization known as the Division. Not like in the video game Division, but it's another organization, Division, that's run by Bryan Cranston. And so you have Sam Rockwell here, and he plays Aiden. He plays the spy, and he's trying to help out Ellie. Like, hey, the stuff you're writing about, they're coming true, and I'm gonna help you out, and then you're gonna, you can help me out because I'm on this mission to help save the day. And I think Ellie can help save the day just because she's writing this story that is pretty accurate to what's happening around her, especially with the secret organization. And so now the secret organization wants information out of her, just capture her so that they can have what's on her mind, because her stories are coming true. Yeah, Sam Rockwell. Love seeing him as a lead character in this, because the two main characters in this is Sam Rockwell and Bryce Dallas Howard. And Sam Rockwell, he's great. He's funny. He's just fun to watch. Very charismatic. And I just want to see more of him, like in the just in movies in general. Just him, just being him. And with this one, he's helping out Bryce Dallas Howard, and so she's the author, and she has like this life that she wants to be secluded. So, someone at the book signing wanted to go on a date with her, but she's like, nah, I do have a date, and the date is her cat. She doesn't want to be a part of this whole adventure because it's just too much for her, but she's gonna have to deal with it, because whether she likes it or not, the organization is gonna come after her. And so she's gonna have to figure out, using her skills as an author, who's able to just research, and just using her knowledge just to help pinpoint things and just narrow things down, and just, solve puzzles, solve crime, and all that. And so with her and Sam Rockwell together, like, they're kind of like this oddball couple, but they go well together because they can help each other out, with Sam Rockwell just kicking ass and just making sure the organization does not get in their way. And then you have Ellie Conway using her book smarts, just trying to figure out just where the location of the certain things are, and figuring out the mission, like, what do we need to do to get here. And like the rest of the cast, like, for the story, for what they've done, I think they've done the best they could with the script. So it's always a treat just to watch Henry Cavill and John Cena and Samuel Jackson, seeing Dua Lipa and just the cast. Like, it's just, for me, like, I see them, it's a delight. But then the problem with the story is that, because the focus is on Sam Rockwell and Bryce Dallas Howard. And so all these other characters, because most of them are just fictional characters that are based on the book that Ellie Conway is writing. And so because of that, they're not really the main characters. They're like side characters, and they're fictional. And so they're pushed to the sidelines. And so out of all the fictional characters, Henry Cavill as Argylle gets the most screen time. But even then, his screen time is pretty small. And I think John Cena, like, I always enjoy John Cena on the screen, but here he has like almost zero screen time. Like, he's there as a support character for Argylle. And then if you thought his screen time was low, Dua Lipa's screen time is even lower. And so I was like hoping, like, oh, we get to see more of Dua. Like, oh, she's in this movie. That's great. But she was only in the prologue, and then just that's it. Like, she, just like bits and pieces here and there, but that's it. That's like it for Dua Lipa. And so that was like, wow, really disappointed, because you see them heavily featured in the trailer and also in the poster. Like, they're in the poster. Dua Lipa's in the poster. Henry Cavill and John Cena and even Samuel Jackson. But they're just really just small characters in this film. And so I think for when you're watching this, just expect like the main part of the story is going to be following Sam Rockwell and Bryce Dallas Howard. And so if you go into this movie expecting that, maybe you'll be less disappointed. But as for me, I was like very disappointed, because I want to see kind of like half and half of just, going back and forth between, the Bryce Dallas and Sam Rockwell, and then towards the fictional world with Henry Cavill and John Cena. But they do sometimes go back and forth, but it's not half and half. So it's really limited, the screen time for these characters. And I do want to talk about the cat. The cat is heavily featured in this. It's in the trailers a lot. And Ellie, that's her cat. She wants to protect it. And it's like inside her backpack, and she takes it everywhere she goes. But I kind of feel like the cat is just kind of there. Like, it doesn't really help serve the story. I just wish they were able to like do more with the cat. And then in terms of just something more compelling. So I just feel like it's just kind of there. But it does get to do some cool things here and there spread out. And there are parts where I'm like, did they really have to CG this part of the cat? Because there are parts where it's like, oh, they're using the actual cat. But then there are other parts where it's like really CGI. So I'm like, why? And for my biggest gripe in the film, it's the twist. There's like plot twists in this movie, and it just keeps like in the second half and in the third act, like it keeps coming up. Like, oh, here's a twist. Like the first time the twist happened, I was like, all right, I can dig this. Like, I like where this is going. And then as the twist happens again and again, I'm like desensitized, and I'm at the point where I don't care anymore about the story, because I just didn't care about the twist. Like for a twist to be really good, you have to like be really just blown away. Like, whoa! Like, I still remember, Fight Club, the twist, when, you find out that it was, Edward Norton and Brad Pitt. Same guy. Or even like The Matrix, watching The Matrix for the first time. It's like, oh my God, what is The Matrix? And you find out what it is. You're like, oh, it's robots taking over, using our bodies as batteries. And so, yeah, those are like the heavy hitters of twists for me, at least. And I think for this movie, like, they try to do a twist and then another twist. But like in terms for the story, I'm like, why? Like, I don't care anymore about what's happening. Just and then the movie's running time is like over 2 hours, so I'm just like, just let it end already. And I forgot to mention, like, just the characters of Bryan Cranston and Catherine O'Hara. I was also like, it's cool that they're in it, but with Bryan Cranston as the villain, he's just the villain. Like he doesn't really do much in terms of something like compelling as someone as Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad, or even the little parts that he has in Godzilla. Very captivating, very engaging. Here, he's a villain. Like you can have one note villains, right? But I think with Bryan Cranston here, I think it's just a wasted potential in casting Bryan Cranston, and you don't like fully take advantage of him. And the same thing also goes with like Catherine O'Hara. Catherine O'Hara, just a treasure. Home Alone, and also Schitt's Creek. But here, like her performance, her character, I feel like it's wasted. And I was hoping like, oh, they're gonna really just take advantage of this, but no, like it's just nothing but disappointment in this with this cast. It's like a huge cast, all these actors, and I feel like they've all gone to waste in this movie. Action, if you like Matthew Vaughn, like the action, it's like imagine the church scene in the Kingsman film with Colin Firth just going crazy and just killing everyone. So there are many scenes like that in this, and one involves ice skating, another involves just a lot of smoke, and I think like I've been so desensitized by the plot twist and just I don't know, something about this where when they do it, when these action scenes happen, I just don't care anymore. Like the action just feels like run of the mill, even though you're watching it. It's pretty elaborate with what they're doing in these actual scenes, but I think it just feels so cartoony and so silly and so out of like, it could be out of left field. But if you're watching a Matthew Vaughn film, you probably expect something like this would happen. But there's no weight to it anymore. And like, let's say people are dying left and right, like it just doesn't have that cool factor. And like for example, like John Wick 4, right? Like John Wick kills people like left and right over and over again, but there are still moments where you're like, oh, this is cool. Like, oh, that, or even like, let's talk about the Raid. The Raid, a lot of action, but there are still many cool moments. And I feel like I shouldn't even bring up the Raid because that's like up here in action films, and not a lot of movies have been able to just capture that because that really raised the bar. But with Matthew Vaughn, he still, like his movies, they still have like a lot of fun action sequences, like with Kingsman and also with like Kick-Ass. But here, just run of the mill for action scenes, even though it's like extravagant and crazy. But I just felt desensitized with all this stuff that's happening. And it's just kind of, it makes me feel sad. But yeah, overall, the first half of the movie is a lot of fun. Like, I really was invested in the characters of Ellie Conway, played by Bryce Dallas Howard, and also Aiden, played by Sam Rockwell. But it's just the second half, when it starts to go into more of these spy stories with the twists and turns and the layers being peeled off, to the point where I just stopped caring about the story and the characters, and I just wanted that first half of the movie. Like, I just wish Matthew Vaughn stuck with that and didn't have to try to have this whole plot twist after plot twist after plot twist. And also just with the characters too, the Argylle with Henry Cavill, with Dua Lipa, John Cena, all that. I just felt like all these actors that are in it is just wasted potential in this film. Yeah, Argylle. Yeah, it goes just totally bonkers in the other direction. And some people will love that. Some people will love that it just goes bonkers in that direction. But I think like I just enjoyed the first half of the movie so much, I wanted that to continue on. And let me know what your thoughts are on this movie, when it comes out, in the comments below. With that said, I'm John, and I'll see you guys next time.